With almost 40 years of history and more than a dozen mainline entries, the Final Fantasy series can be a bit overwhelming for newcomers. Each game offers a unique world, battle system, and story, making the choice of where to start a pretty daunting one. So which one should you play first?
That's right, so in today's video, we're actually discussing what Final Fantasies I think you guys should start with first. There's a lot of them out there. I know it can be pretty daunting, but I have a few recommendations that might actually help you get in and invested into the series. And before we do that, don't forget to like and subscribe as always, and comment down below. Let me know if you're interested in starting Final Fantasy, or if you've played Final Fantasy, or if you're a Final Fantasy veteran like I am. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on what game you think people should start with, or what recommendations you have for newcomers to the series. So let's get started with the first game that I love so much from the PlayStation 2 era, Final Fantasy X. First up is Final Fantasy X. This is one of the best starting points for newcomers because it features a battle system that is both accessible and strategically engaging. Unlike older entries that use the active time battle system or the ATB system, Final Fantasy X introduces a conditional turn-based battle system which allows you to take your time selecting your moves without worrying about real-time pressure. This makes it an excellent entry for players unfamiliar with traditional RPG mechanics, as it provides a clear, easy-to-follow structure while still allowing for deep strategy like swapping characters mid-battle to take advantage of enemy weaknesses. The Sphere Grid, which is the game's progression system, is also pretty beginner-friendly, offering you a sense of character growth without being too overly complex. These few elements make Final Fantasy X approachable yet rewarding for the first-time player. Beyond its gameplay, Final Fantasy X is a fantastic entry point thanks to its amazing storytelling. The game follows Tidus, a young athlete who mysteriously is transported to the world of Spira, where he joins a summoner named Yuna on her pilgrimage to defeat a monstrous entity known as Sin. Throughout the story, there's themes of fate, sacrifice, and the cycle of destruction that plagues Spira, making it one of the most emotionally engaging narratives in the entire Final Fantasy franchise. And this was also stand out at its time because when this came out, this was the first Final Fantasy title to feature full voice acting, which really brought the characters to life in a way that was incredibly groundbreaking at the time. And I loved it when I was a kid, and I still resonate with these characters purely because of the voice acting. And the last reason why Final Fantasy X is a great starting point is because it has a more linear structure, which makes it a little bit more accessible than some of the other more open-ended entries. The game's visuals, whether you play the original or the HD remaster, whatever it is, there's so many great things here like breathtaking landscapes, detailed character designs, and some of the cinematic cutscenes. Those are gorgeous, and unlike some Final Fantasy games that require extensive exploration or side quests to fully understand the story, Final Fantasy X is a lot more streamlined, ensuring that you can focus on the main plot without feeling lost. This is a great choice for you if you want a well-paced, story-driven introduction to the franchise without the risk of feeling overwhelmed. Final Fantasy X might just be the perfect entry point for anyone looking to experience their first Final Fantasy adventure. Next up is Final Fantasy VII. This is an excellent starting point for newcomers because it offers the perfect blend of classic turn-based combat, an engaging story, and deep customization without being too overly complicated. The ATB system keeps things exciting because it requires you to make decisions in real time, but it's still turn-based enough for beginners to grasp easily. The materia system, which allows you to equip magic or other things, provides a great level of customization that's both intuitive and rewarding. It's one of the best in the series for a reason. This flexibility means that even if you're new to RPGs or JRPGs, you can experiment with different playstyles without feeling too overwhelmed. Additionally, the game's pacing introduces mechanics gradually. This pretty much ensures that you can ease into this experience without too much complexity right away. And beyond its gameplay, Final Fantasy VII is a must-play because of its unforgettable story and characters. This game follows Cloud Strife, a former soldier turned mercenary, as he joins a resistance group fighting against the corrupt megacorporation Shinra, only to become entangled in a much larger struggle that threatens the entire planet. The narrative here has lots of great things like political intrigue, personal trauma, and environmental themes, making it one of the most emotionally resonant stories. And even with its original PlayStation-era graphics, Final Fantasy VII remains deeply immersive, and its music and storytelling just makes it a timeless experience. But if you don't want to play the original PlayStation 1 version, I would honestly really recommend the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. Obviously, it's part of a trilogy which is in the works right now. Remake is a lot more action-based. It's real-time combat, your action-style combat. It's really fun. Beautiful graphics, great story, and this is a great retelling of Final Fantasy VII in a modern twist. I won't say anything more than that purely because I don't want to do any spoilers, but Remake and Rebirth are
excellent.
But hey, and before we talk any more Final Fantasy, I want to let you guys know that almost 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed. So if you want to support, I would love to have you hit that subscribe button so we can continue watching JRPG content week in and week out. And if you do want to support more, I do have channel memberships, so you can check the join button down below. There's a couple different tiers, a couple different rewards. See which one is right for you. So anyway, let's get back to another Final Fantasy that might be divisive, but honestly, I really love this one, and you might as well.
Now we have the most recent and most modern of the bunch here, which is Final Fantasy 16. This might just be a great point for you to start with the series because it fully embraces modern action RPG mechanics while still maintaining the grand storytelling that the series is known for. Unlike previous Final Fantasy games that featured turn-based or hybrid battle systems, Final Fantasy 16 offers real-time combat reminiscent of action games like Devil May Cry, for example. This is going to be a great entry point for somebody who's not familiar with traditional JRPG mechanics, but if you enjoy fast-paced, skill-based gameplay. The combat system is very fluid, intuitive, and rewarding, allowing you to chain together devastating combos, dodge attacks in real time, and summon powerful abilities tied to elemental icons, basically the summons of the game. This action-oriented approach makes Final Fantasy 16 feel more accessible to a broad audience while still offering depth for those who enjoy mastering combat systems. Now, aside from gameplay, Final Fantasy 16 delivers one of the most cinematic and emotionally gripping narratives in the franchise. The story follows Clive Rossfield, a warrior drawn into a conflict that revolves around dominance, individuals who wield the power of massive godlike creatures called icons, or those summons that I mentioned just before. The world of Valistia is steeped in political intrigue, warring factions, and personal revenge, which creates a dark, mature narrative that I think truly sets apart from some of the other previous entries in the series. And the game takes inspiration from Western fantasy, like Game of Thrones, for example. I haven't seen it yet, but I can see the comparisons. This is going to offer you a rich, lore-heavy world filled with lots of morally complex characters. And honestly, the amazing voice acting here is standout. I love the voice acting in Final Fantasy 16. There's dramatic cutscenes and breathtaking visuals, which is going to help make it one of the most immersive Final Fantasy experiences to date. So if you're drawn to high-quality storytelling, deep character arcs, and cinematic presentations, Final Fantasy 16 is going to provide you with an unforgettable journey. And another reason why 16 is a great starting point is its streamlined RPG elements. While older entries required players to manage intricate systems like job classes or character builds, Final Fantasy 16 keeps it really straightforward. This focuses on an engaging story-driven experience while allowing you to upgrade Clive's abilities naturally through skill trees. There's no other characters here that you play as or play with, it's purely just Clive. And additionally, optional content here such as hunts or side quests or lore expanding conversations is going to give you an extra bit of depth without overwhelming new players, and honestly a lot of it is optional. So with the modern approach to combat, storytelling, and the overall progression of the game, Final Fantasy 16 is going to serve as an excellent introduction for those who want the Final Fantasy experience in a way that feels fresh, cinematic, and approachable. And once you play this, you're going to get the itch for the rest of the series. Now, this is one that I don't personally love, but I have a lot of respect for, and that's Final Fantasy XII. This is going to be a great starting point because it introduces a more modern and dynamic combat system while still retaining the strategic depth that the series is known for. Unlike traditional turn-based combat, Final Fantasy XII uses the Gambit system, which allows you to program your party members with specific behaviors, making battles feel more fluid and engaging. This system is perfect for beginners because it removes some of the micromanagement of previous Final Fantasy games while still offering room for strategy and experimentation. Although you kind of do micromanage your party at times if you really want to get into it, but you can program behaviors and just kind of make the battles go a specific way. And additionally, the game features an open world design with vast areas to explore, making it feel a little bit more immersive than some of its predecessors. I'm looking at you, Final Fantasy X. The seamless transition between exploration and combat ensures that you are going to get lost in the adventure without too many interruptions from random battles. You can see the enemies on the screen, you can walk up to them and fight them. And the game's story is another compelling reason to start with Final Fantasy XII. This is set in a politically charged world of Ivalice. The narrative focuses on war, power struggles, and the impact of imperial rule. Unlike many other Final Fantasy titles that revolve around a singular hero, this game follows an ensemble cast, each with their own motivations and perspectives. Now, while the protagonist Vaughn serves as the player's viewpoint of the world, and a lot of people will argue that he's the main character, I would say that, some of the other characters like Ash and Balthier, who's my favorite, and Bosch bring a lot more depth and intrigue to the overarching story. This makes the game feel less like a personal journey and more like an epic, large-scale conflict reminiscent of Star Wars, which I'm pretty sure was done on purpose, or, some other classic political dramas. If you enjoy stories with mature themes, complex world building, and morally gray conflicts, Final Fantasy XII might just give you an engaging and unique experience. And another reason why Final Fantasy XII is a great entry point is its sense of freedom and player choice. The license board allows you to develop your characters in a way that suits your preferred playstyle, meaning you're not locked into specific roles or classes. So whether you want to create a balanced party or specialize in certain classes, Final Fantasy XII offers you a lot of flexibility. And additionally, there's some side content here, like hunting powerful monsters to uncovering hidden areas. There's so much replayability for this game, and you can pretty much do it all at your own pace. Final Fantasy XII has a more slower, methodical approach to storytelling and gameplay, making it an excellent choice for if you want to enjoy like an immersive open world RPG. It's kind of almost like an MMO in that regard. So if you're looking for something like this, Final Fantasy XII is going to be a fantastic place to start. Lastly, we have Final Fantasy VI, truly the classic gem of the bunch. This is an excellent starting point because it represents the pinnacle of the series' classic era while remaining accessible and engaging for modern players. The turn-based battle system is still using the ATV mechanic here. It's going to provide you with a perfect blend of strategy and pace without being too overwhelming. And each character here has their own unique abilities, making combat feel varied and rewarding. And unlike some of the earlier entries in the series prior to 6 that required grinding or deep knowledge of RPG mechanics, Final Fantasy VI is really well balanced, offering you a fair challenge while remaining beginner-friendly to a point. And the Magicite system, as well as the Espers, allows you to learn magic and stat boosts through summonable beings. It provides you customization without excessive complexity, making it a more approachable way for new players to experience classic Final Fantasy progression. Beyond its gameplay, Final Fantasy VI is one of the most beloved entries in the series due to its incredible story and unforgettable cast. Unlike a lot of RPGs or JRPGs that focus on a single character or a single protagonist, Final Fantasy VI has a true ensemble cast, with each character having their own motivations and personal struggles and backstories. The overall narrative here revolves around a dystopian world ruled by an oppressive empire, with a group of rebels fighting to restore freedom. Now, the game's villain Kefka is one of the most iconic villains in gaming history, known for his chaotic and terrifying descent into godhood. The story balances deeply emotional moments with exciting set pieces, making it one of the most narratively compelling experiences in the story. For newcomers who want to see how Final Fantasy blends epic storytelling with deep character development, Final Fantasy VI is an ideal starting point. And another reason to begin with Final Fantasy VI is the timeless presentation and atmosphere. Now, despite being a 16-bit game from the Super Nintendo era, you can still play the game on Super Nintendo or the Pixel remaster, which is amazing. Overall, the pixel art remains stunning with great and expressive character sprites, detailed environments, and a hauntingly beautiful soundtrack. The music, featuring tracks like Terra's Theme and Dancing Mad, is widely regarded as some of the best in the series. And the game also features a non-linear second half, allowing for exploration and player choice in a way that was groundbreaking at the time. So with its gripping story, memorable cast, and engaging battle system, and stunning presentation, Final Fantasy VI is going to offer you one of the best introductions into the franchise, proving that even older entries can provide an unforgettable experience for newcomers. I highly recommend this one.
So there's my list of Final Fantasy games I think you guys should start with if you haven't played them already. And if you haven't played some of these games and you are into Final Fantasy, I hope this gives you more of an excuse to go back and play some of these games, because there's so many great games in the Final Fantasy series. Actually, I don't think there's one truly bad game. Some are better than others, but Final Fantasy as a whole is an amazing series, and I love it so much, and I have for almost 30 years now since I've been playing games. So thanks so much for watching today. We'll see you guys on another episode. Bye-bye.